this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
It's the Becky and Boca Show, coming to you live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. from glamorous downtown Boca Raton. I'll show you how to live life in style in one of the country's most elegant cities, nestled right along the beautiful Atlantic beaches between Palm Beach and Miami. So sit back, relax, and let me show you how to indulge yourself Boca style.
Mic's open.
Are we ready? Hello, welcome to the Becky and Boca Show. Tonight we're doing something kind of different, a lot of fun. We are at the Heart of Delray Art Gallery in Delray Beach. If anybody's in the area, come on out. It's a party all night long. And I am here with some Real Housewives of New Jersey fans. I put a call out on social media to get people, and I think I got some really good ones here. I have Mindy, and I have Debbie, and I have Dina, and we are going to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey because next week is my big event with Social Circle in Meisner Park. I'm going to have Siggy Flicker and Dolores Catania from Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's going to be a fantastic party. If you don't have tickets yet, you can go to MeisnerParkCulturalCenter.com. Tickets are only $25. We have some $45 seats left up front, but it's a nice small theater, so everybody's going to have a good seat no matter where they are. And it starts with an hour-and-a-half cocktail party in the venue, and we have lots of nice appetizers and wine, and we have some special tequila drinks that they're making for the housewives. And Siggy and Dolores are going to be there mingling with everybody. You can take pictures, you can talk to them. They're fantastic. I have some wonderful vendors that are going to be there. I have a DJ. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a nice balcony outside that overlooks Meisner Park, so it's a great venue. And then at 7:30, we go into the theater. Everybody takes their seats. I'm going to be on set with Siggy and Dolores. We have a beautiful set done by Clive Daniel Home in Boca Raton. And I'm going to be asking Siggy and Dolores all the questions that you want me to ask them. And those two, I've had them on my show before, they will answer anything. They will talk about their plastic surgeries. They will talk about their ex-husbands. They'll talk about anything we want to talk about, and they're very entertaining and they're very lovable. So if you don't have your tickets yet, it's MeisnerParkCulturalCenter.com, and it's right in Meisner Park, right between Ouzo Bay and Yard House, right across from Lord & Taylor, so it's right downtown. It's going to be a lot of fun. And all you ladies are going to be there, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Second row.
All right. So let's get started here. We want to dish about the housewives because I'm not an expert. I watch the show, but I think the three of you might know a lot more than I do. So who wants to start? Bring us up to speed on what's going on this season. You're looking at me like you know a lot.
Not a lot. I just happened to catch up on the last episode last night, and I just mentioned to her in the hallway that while I think Siggy is a lovely person, I think she's overreacting.
Get whoever's talking on mic.
Excuse me?
Closer to my.
Oh, closer to the mic.
I think she's overreacting to this, Margaret. I think she's been
even more
very overreactive to Margaret, and I think she's making Margaret feel bad. And I don't.
You think Siggy's overreacting to Margaret?
To everything that comes out of Margaret's mouth, and I think she's taking it more negatively than
it's meant to
yes.
be.
Right, but I don't believe that Ziggy is trying to make Margaret feel bad. I think she, like we talked about, is very oversensitive. Yeah. And when you have a friend that's that oversensitive, there are buzzwords like they talked about last night's episode that you just don't bring up.
But you have to know that. Nobody, like I just met you. I wouldn't know what things hurt you, what things are from your childhood. And she blames Margaret. Margaret had no idea. I mean, she called her soggy flicker because she was crying all the time. Now she's getting pellets in her ass and she's not crying, so much. Right.
True.
So, but she had no way
but
much better.
Ziggy also feels that she did express to the girls just about what her dad went through with the Holocaust and everything. So if you even bring up the word Holocaust, there should never ever bring up at a dining room table, let alone a beautiful restaurant, you're going to say the word Hitler to somebody whose father was
But she
that
was
way.
actually saying the word Hitler to emphasize her point. She was on her side. She said Hitler wouldn't kill me because she's obviously not Jewish,
Right.
doesn't make him a good person. She was emphasizing the fact that, and she took it like she said something positive about him
Right.
and called her an anti-Semite. That's heavy to call somebody an
I
anti-Semite.
definitely believe that she reacted. I definitely believe it was a, that's not my phone.
That's okay.
Sorry, I was not going to take I already put mine on silent. I'm on silent. I'm on silent.
Okay, so what happened? Margaret said something about Hitler.
And Siggy took it as though she was offended by it.
What did she say about Hitler?
All she said was, Margaret raised Jewish children, so she's no anti-Semite. What
Okay.
she said was, they were having some sort of heated argument. She said, Hitler wouldn't have killed me. It didn't make him a good person. She didn't say anything positive.
No,
she
I
was
understand.
backing her point.
And I think what Siggy did is, I think she reacted, and she was going to try to hurt Margaret because she
Right.
instantly was so hurt. So,
So she
both
went on-
of them
went
were
on the-
You
wrong.
want to know what my deep thought about this whole thing is? It had nothing to do with Hitler. It had nothing to do with soggy flicker. It has to do with the fact Siggy brought her into this group. Margaret assimilated
Absolutely.
right away with all her friends, and I think there's that same thing that we felt in high school.
Yeah, she's
I-
probably, yeah.
It's a
She
friend.
does feel
No
that
loyalty.
way.
Yeah, I agree.
She brought Siggy in, and that came out too last night in the episode where Siggy was like, I brought you into the group, and yet you left me at the cocktail party.
Right.
So I mean, I think we've all been there.
And that's where
and,
the hurt
and I
comes
think
from.
that's and I think
Why
Siggy,
do you think Margaret did that? I mean, she knows what she's doing, and she knows that Siggy brought her in.
'Cause Margaret's
Why
a-
did she turn on Siggy?
Margaret's a spitfire. That's a part of her personality.
Do you think
I don't
she
think
is-
she turned on Siggy. She's got a sarcastic, quick wit, which
Right.
can sometimes be off-putting. I get like that. Like I'm so fast thinking that sometimes I'll say something, and a lot of times before I have a friendship, I'll say to somebody, if I hurt your feelings, it is an accident.
It's not intentional.
It's
So
never
you
gonna
think
be
it's-
intentional. I will never, if you're part of my world, I will never purposefully hurt you. But sometimes
But I
I'm
might.
so sarcastic.
I might give you a good jab.
Sometimes I'm sarcastic trying to be funny, and I'll say something, and I'll see
Right.
the look on someone's face, and I'll go, "Uh-oh, I went too far." But
Okay.
I don't think Margaret really has a mean bone in her body. But I think she'd like.
Debbie,
to stay
did
on
you
the
see
show.
the little altercation in the beginning between
didn't-
Margaret and?
No, I didn't see that.
See, I-
Margaret.
I
but
remember
Margaret,
way back in the beginning they had a problem.
Yeah, I've seen that, so that's
Yeah.
what I've witnessed. So I always kind of felt like she was a spitfire, and I think she's kind of had a tough life, though. I mean,
Margaret?
Yeah, hasn't she? I mean, didn't she, work hard and get her business going and.
Oh, she definitely had some downfalls, and then to raise somebody else's children and then have them not speak
They don't
to
speak.
her,
Right.
and that came out during the season
Because
You-
she
you-
had the affair with the contractor,
Right, and
that's
married
how they
him,
left.
and they-
Right, and left the father.
So we should see in next week's episode, because that's where they do pick up, is that Margaret talks to her ex-husband, and you have
that'll
to
be
feel,
the night before
but
my
you have
event.
to feel for
Absolutely.
her because she almost is, begging on camera to have this relationship with these kids. It's got to be heart-wrenching.
Wow.
So I think everything is smoothing out, but
But that's what makes these housewife shows
Of course.
so addictive is you see personalities that you don't want to be like. You see traits that you don't want to have in your personality and work really hard not to
Not
be
to-
that.
it helps-
And
it helps
then you
us be
learn-
better.
When I saw Siggy get the pellets in her butt, I thought, maybe, it's evening.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
And-
something to it.
That stuff works.
Well,
huh?
I told you.
You
I
did.
like that episode.
Yes,
I'm
you
like,
did.
this will make her fine. This will make her good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of times, I think, and truthfully, I think she probably helped tens of thousands of women who might have
The same problem.
hormonal imbalance.
Exactly.
hormonal imbalance. They go from high to low.
Because
to
Siggy
high.
had her uterus removed and her
She had a
ovaries
full
and all of that,
hysterectomy.
right?
She had a total hysterectomy.
Okay, so, and she was doing nothing to compensate?
They were giving her synthetic hormones that were not working.
Okay.
So
And I don't
this
think
was
she recognized the behavior until somebody kind of called her out, which really was Margaret. Like,
Right.
she kind of called her out on it, and she went, wait a minute, maybe I do have tremendous highs and lows. And I thought it was amazing of her to go to the doctor on camera, show the whole thing. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
It's
that
probably
is.
helped thousands of women.
Well, you see it
Absolutely.
on Ziggy's Instagram, and you see just the comments.
Who you are a super fan. I haven't been on there.
Yeah.
We have a
Same
super
thing,
fan
but
down
somebody
here.
is being followed by Ziggy, so I take it very.
Have you met her
seriously.
before?
I have not.
Oh,
but it's
Thursday
one-
night. I'm
it
gonna
is,
make
it's
sure
one-
you get a
please,
nice meet and greet.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel that they do make you feel like you have this budding friendship, even though you've never met. And I've left comments.
Oh, they're
of
both very
encourage-
warm and friendly people.
They
You'll like
do
them.
seem down to earth.
Yeah,
That's
they are.
what you like about them. I mean, we were talking before about other housewives that were on the show that I'm so happy that are not on the show because they brought nothing to the
Well, you
show.
know, what I find interesting is, I know them both, and I know they're very nice people, and then they're kind of portrayed in a totally different light on the show. I don't know if
Yes.
that's,
That's
editing,
editing.
Yes.
and it bothers.
Especially Dolores. I mean, she really comes across like this mean son of a gun. And
She doesn't have a mean bone in her body.
right, but that's how she does. I mean, just
Yeah.
her.
Really?
mannerism. Well,
You get that
from
impression?
somebody watching,
Yeah.
and I'm not having dinner with her anytime soon. That's how it is perceived.
Next Thursday.
But next Thursday. So.
And I
yeah.
see her slightly differently. I see her as like kissing Siggy's butt, like as a follower. Like if Siggy says the sky is purple, she goes, oh yeah, purple.
Yeah, but there's a difference between kissing somebody's butt and just it's ride and die friendship.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree. They've
I
got a
have some
bond.
ride and die friendships.
Yeah, no,
that
they're very close.
They
It's
definitely have a
hard to back them up, but you're going to back them up to an extent. But you saw again on I don't know if it was
was
last
last night.
episode or the other one that said, hey, I'm not going to fight her battles, and I have my own opinion.
And she said she's
needed
not
to
an
say that.
anti-Semite.
Right.
She said, I do not think she's an anti-Semite.
And that
She
was
did
huge.
overreact. That was huge.
That was huge. That had to be said, whether you talk about editing or not. Things like that can ruin a business, a franchise,
Sure.
personal relationships.
Or a person.
Yeah.
Most celebrities have
But
gone
see,
down
that's
that way.
why the
Credibility,
shows,
I mean.
I think, are so important. They teach you to hold your tongue, to not just jump. You see so much of life, and you see what you want to be like, you see what you don't want to be like, you see things that make you want to be a better person. And when my husband, who's obviously not paying any attention whatsoever, was saying with the
We have a
when
little
he would
studio
walk
audience.
in the beginning when I started watching The Housewives years ago, he would make some sort of like mumbling comment under his breath, like I was wasting my time. And
Right.
Couldn't I
Of
be
course.
watching the news or a documentary or
course.
something? But now I see, and especially when she did, and when you see like that Shannon Bedore that went through the affair and everything on camera.
Oh, and
your
the
heart-
weight gain.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
that's-
yeah. She's. I feel very badly for her. She, is always portrayed as such a psycho.
No.
She's so dramatic, but she's had a lot of things to go
If
through.
she was that unhappy and the marriage was falling, I mean, she let it fall apart on camera. So you get to see a slice of life that you potentially always maybe wondered about, but they put it raw kind of on the show, editing or no editing. And I think it teaches you a lot about.
And remember
how to
too,
live.
this is what they signed up for. There's a lot of times you're watching the show
Yeah.
and it's cringeworthy.
Yes.
And there's times like Teresa's daughters, Melania, I still would like to take and put in the corner and say, but that's her kid. That's how she acts. That's how she behaves. And that's how she's behaved since they started the show in 2009. These were babies back then.
Right.
So they've been on
So
camera all
they've
this
been
time.
on camera. You don't want to say they know how to play the camera, but
Probably they
they're
do.
so
sure they do.
comfortable for their ages to be in front of cameras, which I find with any of the children on any of the housewives.
But everything with life, like when you're on camera and you expose your life, you lose some privacy, you lose some, everybody's got an opinion.
Lose some
about your
anonymity.
life. Right, but then they've all got book deals or closed deals, or
Oh, listen.
so it's a double-edged sword.
Call it with Teresa. I mean, when like especially in 2010 when the market crashed and when everything was going on and their money was depleting, and all of a sudden all these charges and everything are coming out, and now it's really serious. I mean, she would, sell any type of book deal, or cookbook, or anything, because she had to. I mean,
she
call
got
it what
herself
it is.
out of it.
Yeah.
And she got herself out of it. So whether you want to call her, using the show,
No, well, I think they need to capitalize on it briefly
course.
because nobody knows how long these shows are going to
Totally.
last. It might
Right.
have a 3-year, 5-year thing, and then it's gone.
But
But
just-
while they're famous and very hot, they can sell books and they can get out there and,
and how
do
long
things.
are they going to be on the show?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
These past
Oh, that's another thing.
Right.
If you're
people
too nice,
that
you
were
probably
on,
don't stay on.
Yeah, these past like
we could do a
Amber.
whole list
we
of
could
all
do
the ones,
Amber
yeah.
and Jim. That was awful. The twins. That was awful. Other than I love when they
I
would
did
go
like
to the
Dina.
Bronx.
I would like.
But I love
enjoyed
Dina, and I love Kathy and
I like-
Rosie.
yes,
And they're
I
all
did
gone?
too.
Kathy and Rosie are very cameo appearances, and it's a shame because viewers really would love to have, I would even say, Kathy and Rosie back because they're very down to earth. They're very, this is who we are, and I don't think that they were, I don't want to say glitzy enough or mob enough or some kind of edgy enough.
Mob enough.
I kind of think.
enough drama.
I kind of
Yeah,
think it was Teresa
Not
that
enough
didn't
drama.
want them on the show
Absolutely,
anymore. They
absolutely.
had that altercation and then they were done.
Absolutely. And who knows how much leeway that Teresa does have. She was on one of the reunions, and it was sad because she really did look at Andy, and it was almost like, I really believe this is going to be the last time I'm going to be here.
I remember that.
And
Teresa thought that?
Yes,
Yeah.
well,
She said
because
it.
she
She
was
said it
going
to
off.
Really?
She was going
Going to
off
prison
to
in about a month after that.
jail. Yeah.
camp.
But she said last
She-
night
so
she
she
was
did
in
know.
jail
for
or
the
jail,
first
right.
time.
Oh, so,
So
she
when
thought
she-
they wouldn't bring her back on after that.
She kept saying, I'm going away, but she would never say the word
Oh.
jail.
She said camp.
Camp.
It was a camp. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But she got in the best shape of her life there.
Right.
She found yoga, and
Yeah.
I was thinking, that didn't
Oh,
work
do-
out that bad.
Right. And
You can find
another
yoga
book
without going to
deal.
prison.
Yeah, but even when she went and she was doing another book, and they were up with the lawyer talking with the publishers. It was uncomfortable, and I don't know if you caught it, but they're at the table, and one of the editors were like, you really have to dig deep. And Teresa
said,
was
"I
almost
thought I
like,
did."
Teresa was like, I already
I've already-
did.
right, I've already-
So you, again, another uncomfortable moment. It's like, what more do you want her to say other than, yeah, Joe put me in this place?
Right, that's what they want her to say.
Correct. And she never said that. She said she was resentful, but she never said I'm resentful.
But you want to know
towards Joe."
something? I totally understand it. Actually, yesterday morning at breakfast,
Who are you pointing at? Your husband.
at breakfast, I said to him,
shaking his
I
head.
could see that happening because all through our businesses, and we've done very well, he would work with the accountant, figure out the taxes, and he would chase me down right before and say, sign this. And I never ever looked at what he asked me to sign.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going to go to a commercial break right now, and we will be right back with more juicy gossip on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, who are coming to Boca next week. See you in a minute.
So she technically could have not.
Tighten skin on your face, neck, and body, and lose fat at Ageless Body Sculpting Plus, located at 445 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, where you'll find scientific technologies, including the latest acoustic lipolyzer, which uses ultrasound for immediate and permanent results. No surgery, diet, or exercise. If you don't lose inches, you don't pay. Call 561-654-0177 for your free consultation.
Fleur de Santé, Europe's best-kept luxury skincare secret, is now available in the U.S. Fleur de Santé combines champagne extract with over 150 flowers from France and Sweden to give your skin a boost of immortality. Champagne extract gives skin ultimate antioxidant protection and photo-age prevention, while floral plant stem cells protect and nourish. Repair and revitalize your skin with Fleur de Santé. Learn more about all of their products at fleurdesante.com.
Dr. Candace Colella of Colella Cosmetic Dentistry in Coconut Creek provides family and cosmetic dentistry for patients of all ages and is the only dentist in South Florida offering Solea laser dentistry. No pain, no anesthesia, no shots. With over 23 years of experience, Dr. Colella does fast braces, dental implants, veneers, and more. She can even finish off your smile with Botox, fillers, and lip augmentation. Call 954-428-6923 or visit yoursensationalsmile.com.
You've been listening to and watching The Becky and Boca Show. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge in downtown Boca Raton does fabulous professional makeup application. Make an appointment today and see how glamorous you can look. Call 561-409-4065 to book your appointment. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge is located at 233 South Federal Highway on the first floor of the Boca Grand Building in Boca Raton. The number again is 561-409-4065. And now, back to the show.
Back.
Okay, welcome back to the Becky and Boca Show. I have some real Housewives fans here, and we've been discussing Siggy and a little bit of Dolores, who are both going to be here next week, and now we're discussing Teresa, and we're talking about when she went to jail because her husband... Camp, okay. Because her husband... are we getting all 3 people in? 4 people? Oh, you have 2 shots. Okay. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure we're getting everyone in. Okay, so she went to prison, for how long?
11 months.
11 months. Okay. And her husband's in prison now, right?
For 5 years.
For 5 years?
So far.
4 years.
So how much longer does he have?
He
He
actually,
served a year already, right?
he's coming up on 2, but he's trying to actually get it reduced because he wants to go in a rehab facility for jail, and if they move him, they can get his sentence shorter. So now they're saying that he's an alcoholic and he needs to have rehab. So that's
He became
a
an
new
alcoholic in
storyline.
prison?
So
No, I think, but while
they're
she
trying
was gone,
to,
they said...
yeah.
he
Well, they're
started
trying to
drink.
say,
Yeah.
listen, give them credit.
I get it.
They're trying. They're trying to get his sentence
But then
reduced.
there's still the issue, they said that he could potentially be deported when he comes out because
Oh.
of this.
Because he's not
Wow.
an American
He's not an
citizen.
American citizen.
That's interesting. So we were talking about how she kind of claimed that she went to prison because she didn't really realize what he was doing with the business. You think
what
that's
she
true?
said. I know it. I don't know if it's true, but I know in my own world, I trust my husband. We've been together a long time. We had a business together. He puts papers in front of me and says, "Here, babe, sign this," while I'm busy running the other
Doing
part.
something else.
I just sign it. I trust him. If she had the same kind of dynamic, yeah, I could see how it happened.
Yeah.
But she was going to sign it because here they were building this back in the crash, coming off of it, this massive house, a $4 or $5 million house. And she's calling the contractors, I want to change this, I want to change that. And that was the funny part of her, like she wasn't pretentious, but by God, she's going to have that lifestyle. So
Yeah.
if he's saying sign this, why would she say, hey, wait a minute, I don't think, but what is this mortgage? What is?
Yeah.
She's more concerned about that contractor and getting that granite in, that $100,000 kitchen. So I think, sadly, she had blinders on to the lifestyle she was living.
She had a good life
Where it was
going. So
coming
I did love the fact that she did all of her own house cleaning. She
Oh,
did,
yes.
She always said she
Yes.
did. I don't know if that's real.
Real,
She
I
cooked
definitely
and
believe
everything,
that's
but
real.
she
Oh,
was
no.
meticulous about it.
Wait, do you believe that?
I would like to.
You believe she
That's
cleans
what
her
I-
own house?
That's
Yes,
what I think
because-
about when I'm cleaning my house.
Yes, because
Well,
there's
she
certain-
did it. I can do it. My husband
she-
did it.
On the house cleaning.
I think as big as it was. And remember, you don't want to say she wasn't working because every mother that stays home with children, that's
Right.
the toughest job ever.
absolutely.
So, but I really truly believe that she wanted a house a certain way cleaned. Like in the first reunion when she was saying, I would never want to buy a used house.
Right, I
Remember that? And
My
she
house is
said,
really used.
And she said, right, she said, no, I wanted everything brand new. So I think she,
So she
in
had
her
the
mind-
lifestyle, and so she didn't question anything, and
and
eventually
then it hit the fan.
she went to jail.
And then, right, when everything was coming out, she did defend her husband. I mean, why wouldn't you defend your husband and say, you know, this is what we were doing, this is the lifestyle? But I think somebody must have said, you've got to fess up. You look like an idiot. You've got to. And that's when she
But
said,
looking
I
like
did.
an
And then
idiot's
she
not
did
the
admit.
crime, right.
But then she did admit not knowing anything she was signing. And she said she's learned from that because now
She reads everything.
Reads everything. I mean, and what a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
And a lesson to bring to everybody that's watching them. Like you said, we learn a lot. We learn
Yeah.
a lot from just watching the show because it's real life.
Are you reading everything now before you sign it? She looks at her husband.
Maybe I'll start reading them. No,
No, okay.
Yes.
we're lifers, so.
Yes.
Okay, so Teresa, her husband's in jail for a couple more years then, right?
Supposedly.
Okay.
And he
I
wasn't
really-
a very trustworthy person either. I mean, think about the episodes where he was caught on the phone talking to
Yes.
that woman, and he
I
said
w-
something like, "Oh, the bitch isn't here," or whatever he said.
It was awful.
My bitch.
Oh my
used
God,
the
they got that on camera?
No, he used the
That's a crazy
C word.
Yes, he
But
did.
oh, that's right. But why would they get that on camera? How did they? I mean, he walked away and he was whispering on the
Because
phone.
everybody's usually mic'd in that, and he just didn't
Oh, I guess he
remember.
didn't even think
You
about
forgot he
it.
had his
So-
mic on?
But I,
that'll
The
teach him.
producers must have
I
been
could
like, "This is great."
forgive the lapse in integrity with the money before I'd ever forgive that.
You hear that?
Amen. Yes.
He's not even in this.
Yes. Yes. But see, she knew they were mic'd up. And then it was awkward because then she's pulling them in the vineyards to try to have sex. And, you know, when you say, you know.
Wait, who's pulling who into the vineyard?
Teresa knew because she's like, hey, Joe.
Oh,
like,
she's trying to get him.
He's in a vineyard going, and again,
Here
he's
comes my
mic'd up,
bitch
but
wife.
they were drinking all day. And again, I'm not making excuses for him, but all of a sudden she's like, I better go and distract him. And it was ridiculous, you know, and they went in the vineyards and had sex.
But
Wow.
that was eyebrow raising to me because he said what he said. There was just no way around what he
And
said.
of course at the reunion when they bring things like that up, it's gut wrenching. It's cringeworthy is more like it, but you know, she has to sit there and say, of course I was mad at him. Of course when I saw the episode. But you know what? Your daughters saw it too.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
the
know,
sad part.
you want their potential spouse to ever call them that. So you really do hope that throughout all these
He
seasons,
called his wife that on mic and it got on.
Yeah, can you
called her the
imagine?
C word.
Yes.
And it
Here comes my bitch wife, and then he.
Right.
Yes, that's what he said. Here comes my.
And they're still together.
Yeah, can you imagine when the cameras aren't there? And
Oh.
they've had way too much to drink. Like I really believe that she's taken on more of his Machado, if that's the right word. You know, just being
But
so.
she wouldn't give up the, like, she could go back to being a normal citizen and come out of the limelight. They're addicted to this. A lot. They're addicted to the
Absolutely.
money. They're addicted to the
Absolutely.
fame. They're addicted to the opportunity.
Well, like you said, it brings them a lot of opportunity
Absolutely.
outside of the show.
and
Selling
they're
books,
treated like
personal
celebrities
appearances.
wherever
They
they
are.
go.
Well, look, we're going to have a couple of them here next week.
and we're excited.
I'm paying for it.
I'm paying for it.
Pay for it.
We pay for it.
Yeah, so you're right. See, they have that going. They can go rent themselves out. They can do events. They can sell books. They
Where
can
if
do
you're just a
personal
regular
appearances.
housewife, that's not happening.
Right,
Did you
right.
see that Amber? Now was Amber last year or 2 years ago? I think two.
I think
2 years ago. Her and her husband, you know, she was a cancer survivor. For all intents and purposes, she really had a good storyline. And then when she left, I mean, the backlash was like, do not bring this woman back. Do you know where she went? Her and her husband went on marriage boot camp on Lifetime.
So they go from another one right into another reality show.
Because
And,
they're addicted to
and I
those things.
swear,
But
I
she was a
watched
little
one
intense.
episode with the marriage boot camp, and it was so overly dramatic. And they must have said, "Listen, the more you act, you know, the more you get paid." Because to me, it was so
Well,
fake.
I think
She
the
was
more
intense.
drama you bring up, the
and you're not
more
on the
likely you're going to
Housewives
stay on the
anymore.
show.
What are you
Exactly.
going to do?
And
So-
I think that's
Yeah.
it's an unstated fact that you throw
can't
a
be
table,
boring.
You're there.
Yeah.
Well, which is like what you said. They're not. They're portrayed completely different from how you know them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know that I would want to act like that.
Well, you
And
have
then-
to know the trade-off and understand what you're
What
getting
you're
out of
gaining.
it.
But then
And-
you want people to know that that's not really you.
Well, I think that was
But you
Siggy's
get-
dilemma.
Yeah.
We were originally supposed to do this event in October 11th. And she called me couple of weeks before we first. I don't think I can do this. I think it was a week before because the first episode had just come out, but she saw it a little early. They showed it to them. She said, I can't go before people. They totally destroyed me. They ruined my character. I looked like a horrible person. I can't do it. I'm like, you gotta do it. I got the theater rented. I got everything to go. And she just couldn't. She couldn't do it. And I was a little upset with her, but then she came down that week anyway, and she did my show. And when I started talking to her, I realized that she really was hurt.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, how could she be hurt? She must understand that they edit these things that way in order to get viewers. But then when I talked to her, she was hurt. She really was.
She's also been in the public eye as well with her books, and I think that's been...
But on her terms.
Yeah,
This isn't on her
they don't
terms.
edit.
Right,
It's editing.
right. Correct.
It's the editing.
Correct, and I think...
She can portray herself as who she wants the world to see.
Correct.
On this show, she's got producers and editors, and they got their own way.
And they don't know. She says they film, thousands and thousands of hours, and then they clip it down to one little thing, and you don't know what they're going to put in there. And they look for the most dramatic stuff.
Exactly. So they get the most viewers, and people are.
There was. Did you
enamored
see
of it.
when she was here in Boca Raton and she walked into New York Prime, and they really portrayed her to be loud and obnoxious. I was there that night. She was not loud and obnoxious.
But that 30
she was
seconds.
just coming in because she had asked us all to be there, and we had waited a long, long time. They were filming at the Waterstone or something, and it was hours, and we sat there for hours waiting for them. And then finally they came in, so she was like, "Hey, everybody!" She was doing that for us, and the cameras are behind her
And it looked
from the
like
back,
she
and
was-
it
So
looks
I
like
mean, like she was doing it to
yeah, just like
citizens of Boca.
Right,
like,
Boca
look at me,
Raton, I'm
here.
here. It was
Yeah.
all of her friends that she had gathered in that bar area in New York Prime, and everyone was waiting for her, and she knew they were waiting
Right.
because she had texted everybody and told us to be there. So when she came in, she wanted to address everybody, and then the cameras got behind her and made it look like I'm here.
So
And
you
it
can
really-
see how it completely...
totally taken out of
Yeah.
context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they really do also rely so much on their social media, on their Instagram, on Facebook.
Oh, they're very active on that.
They
That's
are
a very important
because
part.
when you, just like what you said, you're cutting down thousands of hours
Mm-hmm.
and you're not getting that moment where she truly is upset. Trust me, on her Instagram, she is saying it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she blocked Margaret and made such a thing about blocking Margaret on Instagram and had 31,000 people like that post. There was over 1,000 remarks underneath there. So they might not be able to say it during the season, but I know they utilize social media so much to at least try to get their
word out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
And,
they
Save
try
face
to-
when they have to. When they
Right,
have to
that's
get,
what they're trying to
because that's the
do.
only way they can. That can't be edited. That's their social media.
right.
And they're hoping that they have enough followers that, like, I've never gone on any one of their Instagram sites or whatever. I just watched the show. But I don't know if I did, would it change my opinion? Like I watched the show.
Well, I think once you meet them next week, you're going to see that they're nothing like they are on the show.
They're just
in
real
real-
girls, right?
They're friendly. They're very friendly, and they'll tell you anything. And
But it
you're gonna
gets
love
really
them.
nasty on social media because I've seen on Twitter.
Oh, the haters.
And the Twitter is, famous adage, don't hit send. Just the bantering between, Ziggy or whoever on Twitter to their followers or to fellow castmates. Because it's right there. And they get it out and then it's quickly, let's delete it. So,
Well, it's like the advice, your mother gave you when you're really pissed at somebody. If, write what you want, but don't
send it.
Send it to the next morning, and half the time you cool down.
right.
And they have a lot of haters too on social media. This is what I don't understand. When I post about them, sometimes I get some really nasty comments about them, and I don't check it all the time, but I delete them when I when I see them. But these people are out there just
But
wanting.
don't you find that even in your own life? The better you do, the better you look, the happier you are, the people that are just going to look at you and just because you being good makes them feel bad, and they somehow.
Well, I
Right.
think you're right. I must have a very nice group of people that follow me because I don't get too many negative comments. But when I put them on my social media, I do.
Yeah, but they're
And-
the social media trolls. That
Right, who are these people that are
they
commenting
the people
like
behind
that?
the computers, and they are the ones that I've seen such hatred. I mean, I follow a lot of sports, and to see, and I do fantasy football, so to see a lot of these poor football players get beaten up on social media because they didn't get 10 extra yards or they didn't get whatever because of fantasy football, and they start to engage back to it like, hey, this is my job, and you're almost like, what are you doing? You're engaging in somebody who's probably had drank too much behind a computer at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you can't engage. That's the wrong thing to do.
So
but I think they do engage a lot.
Oh yeah.
Well, because you're defending, you feel attacked, so you're going to defend
Right.
yourself.
And then you see the fights amongst the comments. Poor
Yeah.
Ziggy.
Oh,
I mean, that to me is hysterical, where somebody will say, oh, Ziggy, I really support you. And then somebody right underneath would say, yeah, but I support Margaret. And then the person there would say, but wait a minute, and they have 20 comments. And, you're just like, stop it.
Well,
Just stop.
they really shouldn't read the comments. Someone told me that Matt Lauer said never read the comments, and I bet he's really not reading them now.
Not reading them
No,
now.
not in his
But if you're
best
in that,
interest.
if you're
no.
in that business, it's
Yes.
probably a good idea not to read any of the comments.
Yeah, but I do find that Ziggy does read it.
I think she
that's
does.
what I've been
Yeah.
extremely touched by, that whatever comment I wrote, whatever it was, that she either liked it or sent me a message saying, I appreciate your kind words.
yeah, and that shows you she's a nice person.
Right.
When I had her on the show in October, there were comments underneath, and she was commenting back. She goes, "No, this is me. This is
Yes.
really me."
Yes.
Answering you because
Yes.
people were kind of fighting in the
Yes,
comments.
I was that person.
You were there?
Yes,
Okay.
I was one of those, because I was like, oh, come on, is this really Ziggy? Who really responds when you have 300,000 followers? No, really, it's me. I was like,
no.
oh my
She
God.
does.
So-
They're always on their phones when they're around,
Yes.
so they're always posting. That's probably part of their
But
part
that
of
could
their
make
fame
you
is.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
yeah.
part of this job, and it's a job, technically, that could make you crazy.
But you
If
know that's
let
in the
that get to
contract. You know that they have to. Like Teresa said it during one of the episodes. I have to have pictures on my Instagram, and said it during an episode. So here are these girls who are like, okay, smile for the camera, and is these horrible smiles. But you feel for them because she has to have a certain amount
Yeah.
by her contract, and you have to.
Well, they
feel
have to
for
remain
these.
popular, and social media is the way everybody can kind of
And they're
connect to them.
beautiful girls, and your heart goes out to them, because what you always want for your children to have a normal life, and this is not normal.
But it's what we were saying before. The double-edged sword is it keeps that lifestyle afloat.
Yeah. And speaking of abnormal, what about Dolores' husband living in her house with her?
That is the funniest thing.
Did you know he's going to be here?
No.
And I think he's going to talk to us on stage. He's going to be at the event.
okay.
I think so. I talked to
She's got
Dolores
a
today. I forgot to
boyfriend.
ask
She's
her.
got the best of all worlds.
Yeah, she has a boyfriend,
She said
and
that.
she has her husband living in the house with her. And
He's the best
But
friend.
it's just, you'd have to be blind not to see that there is such a love between them. Now,
the husband, the ex-husband.
the
Yeah.
ex-husband
Yeah.
and Dolores, you could see that she genuinely loves this man, and he genuinely loves her.
But you know what happened there?
He cheated
No,
on her.
what did?
Yeah. Oh, she cheated. Yeah, he cheated like when
She
the
told
baby
me,
was.
she was like about to give birth to her
Yes.
son, I think,
Yes.
and I think her cousin called her and said she just saw her husband in the parking lot making out with the woman.
Yes.
Yeah, but now her son is how old?
Break.
19.
Yeah.
Years ago,
Well, no,
so what-
he was gone for 19 years and now he moved back into the house. But she. Oh, we got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back on this subject when we come back. I got something really good to tell you. Okay, see you in a minute.
My soul.
Tighten skin on your face, neck, and body, and lose fat at Ageless Body Sculpting Plus, located at 445 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, where you'll find scientific technologies, including the latest acoustic lipolyzer, which uses ultrasound for immediate and permanent results. No surgery, diet, or exercise. If you don't lose inches, you don't pay. Call 561-654-0177 for your free consultation.
Fleur de Santé, Europe's best-kept luxury skincare secret, is now available in the U.S. Fleur de Santé combines champagne extract with over 150 flowers from France and Sweden to give your skin a boost of immortality. Champagne extract gives skin ultimate antioxidant protection and photo-age prevention, while floral plant stem cells protect and nourish. Repair and revitalize your skin with Fleur de Santé. Learn more about all of their products at fleurdesante.com.
Dr. Candace Colella of Colella Cosmetic Dentistry in Coconut Creek provides family and cosmetic dentistry for patients of all ages and is the only dentist in South Florida offering Solea laser dentistry. No pain, no anesthesia, no shots. With over 23 years of experience, Dr. Colella does fast braces, dental implants, veneers, and more. She can even finish off your smile with Botox, fillers, and lip augmentation. Call 954-428-6923 or visit yoursensationalsmile.com.
You've been listening to and watching The Becky and Boca Show. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge in downtown Boca Raton does fabulous professional makeup application. Make an appointment today and see how glamorous you can look. Call 561-409-4065 to book your appointment. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge is located at 233 South Federal Highway on the first floor of the Boca Grand Building in Boca Raton. The number again is 561-409-4065. And now, back to the show.
Back.
Becky and Boca back from our break talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And before the break, we were talking about the fact that Dolores' ex-husband moved back into her house after 19 years and is now living with her and her children. But she has a boyfriend. And I was asking these ladies how they feel about that.
It's a good gig if you can get it.
Yeah, it's a great gig if you can. Well, I asked Dolores. Dolores called into my show when Siggy was on, and I asked her why you let that happen. And she said, well, he pays for everything. He pays for the house, he pays for all that. She says, I'm not proud if he's going to pay for it.
Right.
I don't need to spend my money. And he has every right to live there because he's paying all the bills.
In her first season, he had a girlfriend.
Yes.
Right? He was living
Yes.
down the street or something.
Yes.
And he had a girlfriend. So obviously they both have their
you so
life
much.
beyond each other, but they
Right.
have a real familial relationship with the kids and with each other.
Do you think there's anything more going on there?
I see a gleam in her eye when you talk about him.
Yeah?
She seems to be almost more animated when he's around.
I just wish that because the boyfriend is very cute, and again, you have to give one
I think
up
she's
already.
hogging the bed.
Come on, I'm gonna keep putting my bid in there. Hello, but you do. You just see, and she appreciates what Frank's advice is now, because he's been through the ringer and he's made his mistakes, and he did come home with his tail between his legs. And
19 years later.
And it was a little bit frightening because the son was the man in the house. And so
True.
that's what I thought would have been more, I don't even want to say of a storyline, but just, how were they going to get along? I mean, son's a son, and I
But they're
thought...
family. You could see that it is a loving family,
Right.
regardless of the word divorce.
Right.
There's
there's a connection.
Tremendous connection there with
Right.
all of them.
But I'm wondering, after, 5 tequila shots, Frank is looking really good.
Oh, I never thought about that. Okay.
Come on. It's Cinco de Mayo. You're having...
I
Come
see what
on.
you're saying.
Yeah, so I'm saying, listen.
So you need
Frank,
to ask
leave
her.
that
Yeah,
door
You need to
next
ask
week.
her,
We're taking
right,
questions, and Frank, I think, is going to be there.
Is the door open at night? That's what I
the
want to
devil,
know.
the devil you know
Oh.
is always easier than the devil you don't know.
Okay, so I vote that you ask them the question when we're on stage.
Not a problem.
I
Because
just
I'm
want-
hoping
I'm not
that
gonna
they
ask.
admit it, and I say, here's my number for the doctor. So
You've got an ulterior motive.
I
You
do.
I
guys.
doubt that they will
I do.
admit it if it's happening.
I do.
But
so, yes.
as I understand it, there's nothing going on between Dolores and the ex-husband.
It's possible that he's just like a big brother, that they are family. They know each other so well inside out. They have kids together, and he's part of the family.
He does, though, try, like in a few episodes, to really parent the son. And it's awkward because he didn't do that for so many years. And you see Dolores like, what are you doing? You're doing it now?
Yeah, now you jump in.
So, I certainly can relate to that. And you want Frank to feel that I am the father. We are living in the same house. But is it the same dynamic? So I'd be curious.
Obviously, it works for them.
Obviously it does, so.
Yeah, it seems to be working, but they've only been doing it for, few months now. We'll see how.
Maybe,
Oh no,
maybe
it's
they'll
got to be a
inspire.
year. It's
A year?
because
Yeah.
they tape
Oh, they
last
tape
year.
it. Yeah, you're right.
And maybe they'll inspire other people to do that.
To get along.
Just to get
Yeah, to get
along.
along.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
How much more wonderful is it for the children
Until
if
we
the two
find
parents
out.
don't kill each other?
Yeah.
until we find out when you ask him that they are together, then that's going to be a whole explosion. That's not going to work.
You're going to do the 2 tequila thing too?
Absolutely. And I'll say 5. 'cause listen, 2 tequila, my ex-husband doesn't still look good. So
All right, well, if anybody has questions, you got to submit them to me beforehand,
Okay.
and I'll have to ask them because we won't have mics all over the place.
Sure.
But you're going to get me with your questions.
of course.
Okay, and
Of course.
hopefully we'll get Frank up on stage there to answer to some of this.
Love it. Would love it.
And I think Siggy's ex-husband is going to be there. Maybe we'll talk to him too. And
Her new
it'll just be
husband
fun.
seems really nice.
Oh yeah,
Very
Michael.
supportive
I met
of
him.
her.
He's very nice. Oh,
Michael Campanella.
it's great for her. Yeah.
Right. Seems like this is the kind of man she needs.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody that's always Team Siggy.
Yeah, well, she explained that she was just, she is who she is, and she's very exuberant and all that, and she was just maybe too much for the first husband, but the second one is perfect, so.
And I think that it assuages something that might have been hurt in her a long time ago. This guy is 100% Team Siggy. Good, bad, indifferent.
But it is endearing to see that he wants
Yes.
to spend time with her. But
Yeah.
So
I
he's
do,
been saying that she's working too hard, right?
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. And that's what I was saying was, it is a passion for her. Do what you love what you do.
And do it while you can,
Correct. So
because these shows
That's a good
can,
one.
they
They're
might not
fleeting.
last.
Right.
Wasn't that one season of the New York Housewives when 3 of them got the axe like in one?
Yes.
I didn't even know. I think one of my friends called me and said, "Oh, Kelly, Ben Simone, and all 3 of them got the axe at the same time."
And
Okay,
they
you
were
need to be a little
drama,
closer.
too.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, talk right into it, okay. So,
Yes, I know also
so
it
do
is
you think
fleeting.
that they must each have a contract only one season long? And
I-
then at the end of the season, they can be,
I'm not sure,
Just
but
not
I
rehired, I
think
think.
that Bravo always would have the ability to sever anybody they choose to. That's probably in all the contracts. But like,
Yeah, like I never thought that Carolyn Manzo was going to leave, but then when she got her own spin-off
or
from
Dina.
it, right.
Dina was,
No, I think you could see it with Dina that she, especially season 1, this was not what she signed up for, and you could see it throughout the whole season.
Well, then she got her own decorating show, which is, I think, what
She
she
did,
really
and that
wanted.
was great, but that's no longer on the
Right,
air
that
either.
didn't last.
And so they.
And I
she
never
too.
thought they'd bring Danielle back, like in a million years.
Right, but what a storyline that they hated each other so, and now to bring them back.
So isn't
why-
that another thing we learn about life? How many
So-
times does that happen in our own
Oh,
life?
now,
absolutely. That's a good.
Well, listen, never burn bridges, so.
I mean,
'Cause you never know
You throw a
who's-
table on me, you're pretty well done in my life.
I don't know. I might want to throw it back, so you never know.
I hope nobody throws anything at the party next week. But
We'll try to behave.
I kind of feel like they know that the more dramatic they are,
Yes.
the more likely they are to have their contract renewed. And I think that's the reason they're flipping tables and throwing cakes and things like that.
Yeah, but you can also really see it with certain cast members. Like, I'm sorry, I just feel that way with Danielle. Again, as much as I want to like her, there's no reason to throw water in Milan or throw the glass or whatever. But
It's a moment.
But now it's a moment, and that's Danielle. And please bring her back because she's feisty and she's
Or
this
that
and
Kim D when they all went to the,
the
posh fashion
well,
show. That
they
was
always
like,
say that Kim D is, begging up one side, down the other, and it's always the posh fashion show. And
that's all the camera
that's her
time she
thing,
gets.
is the posh fashion show. And still, there's always drama.
Well,
Right.
what I thought was funny about Siggy in that first episode when they were actually at Shooters down here in Fort Lauderdale. They went on that little boat from
Yes.
the hotel, and she got all upset and she wanted to do something, but she's a nice person. So what she did, she took her little bit of wine that was left and kind of poured it neatly onto the table.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
she tells me later, I can't believe I threw my wine. I'm like, you didn't really throw it. You just
You
kind of
made
poured
a
it.
casual
Yeah.
statement. That's what you did. But
So it's against her nature to do that kind of stuff.
but to find out, the cake was $1,100. I think it was the first
From the
episode.
Boca
or
Resort?
second.
You don't think she's slightly I mean, I know it was an $1,100 cake. I know
Oh,
it was a
absolutely
pretty cake.
not. She did
the
not
girls
overreact.
were having a good time.
No
So
way.
I
You're at a restaurant. This is your birthday.
Yeah.
Here's $1,100. I want you to have a good time, and you pick up a whole thing.
Well, as I pointed
mean,
out to her,
pick up-
the cake
take a
landed the cake landed right side up, and it had a little platter under it. So
Okay,
it
was
would
it
have
the
been
5
good.
second rule? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
it was
would
a
have
little
been fine,
small.
except that Siggy went down and dug the stuff that fell off the pavement and put it on top of the cake. And I'm like, well, you just ruined it, you know?
Oh no, there was no. Once
then
it hit the ground.
When
it-
Melissa came to her house and she threw herself on the floor and
That
asked
was
everyone, I
it.
mean,
Oh,
really,
that-
that's
yeah.
a little dramatic for me.
Yes.
I mean, I can't imagine any friend that I have behaving like that. So
No, in
you
real
know,
life,
but-
it's hard to believe that would have actually
And,
happened.
and you know, as God is good, that you know whether the show paid for it or she paid for it, somebody paid for this cake, and you know, yes, absolutely.
Unless the hotel
overreacted
donated it.
from it.
Unless the hotel donated it, that's possible. In
Now,
exchange
if
for
that is the case, I got to be honest. If I find out through the grapevine, that might be another one
There
of
you
the
go, there's a
questions.
question.
Another one. Let me write
Did
that
anybody
down.
actually pay for
Was
that
the
cake?
Yeah, who
because
paid
if
for it?
it
Who paid
was
for the cake?
donated, I think I wouldn't feel so
bad?
As bad. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, I would
Because
be like,
I would assume
you know,
that
it was donated.
I don't know if they mentioned where the cake was from.
Yes,
but-
they did.
Okay, well
So
then
it's probably promotional.
Yes.
And just like every girls trip
Yeah.
they take, the hotel, they.
So
they
it's probably
focus
better for
on
the hotel that it
restaurant.
ended up on the floor. The cake got a lot more attention that way. and-
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
You're right.
nobody lost in that.
It's a great restaurant. So I mean, we've all been there. At least I've been there. and
Shooters?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
and
God,
what a
that's been
fun
there for
place.
50
but-
years.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think
We were
they had
probably all
gotten
there
a
at the
bill
same
that
time
night.
back in the
Right.
80s.
I wouldn't think that they got a bill that night for any part of that night.
Oh, no.
When you focus on the awning of the restaurant,
The
and
whole
they get there
time.
a few minutes, and hundreds of people when they come to Florida go there because they saw it on the show.
Probably more than hundreds.
Or right, probably.
Yeah.
Or when Siggy had the retreat up in, I forgot where she was near my girlfriend, up in Pennsylvania someplace.
Right. Poconos.
I don't think that they probably paid for everything. I'm sure a lot of
Right.
it was promotional.
Well, it is. It's like the Real Housewives of New York City. It's funny because there are tours that you could take in Manhattan of the stores, the restaurants that they all frequent. And I know with the New
What's
Jersey.
the one that Tom was hanging out, where all the
Yes.
single women go?
Oh, I was going to say the Embassy. It's not Embassy. I forgot.
Regency.
Regency. See.
Yeah.
Well, I know when Bravo was here filming with them last year, there were a lot of businesses that were on standby. They thought they were coming there, and they had their stores all cleaned up and ready to go,
Oh, yeah.
and then they just never showed up. So it's really competitive to want to be on a show like that
They've
because
been
of all the
twice, I believe, at the Smoothie Jungle or whatever the.
raw juice.
Yes.
They're going to be there. Everybody gets a free raw juice
Oh, good.
next
Well,
Thursday.
they have.
Yeah.
They've filmed there a couple times
But
already.
what does
Yeah.
that few seconds means monumental promotion?
Yes, it does.
To that.
Oh my
They
God, in
showed the front of
advertising?
raw juice on that first episode, right there on Federal Highway with
Yes.
the raw juice name and everything. So it definitely is very valuable. But I don't know what he did. Give him a little juice, maybe.
Probably for
I
life.
just
they
would
can probably get
really
juice for
love to
life.
know if the cake was donated now. I
I
think that would make a big difference, don't
that
you?
goes on the question list.
okay.
Okay, behind
You're
the
going to
5
send me all
shot
these
tequila.
questions.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I would assume it was donated if they mentioned that it was made
It was a
above
phenomenal
reserve.
cake. I mean,
Yeah.
they,
It's
know,
really
just
pretty.
all
Yeah.
the
But
decoration.
I loved that she went nuts at her house when Melissa walked in, and she was like, she asked everybody, was that rude or whatever? And then she throws herself on the floor, thank you. And then when she did the retreat, when Melissa
Yes.
imitated her,
Yes.
I almost peed my pants. I was like,
You almost want to say, this way, like especially in the retreat, you don't know how you're acting. You don't know how you're being projected. And so to see the retreat and to do the role reversal, you're almost like,
And
oh
Margaret
my God,
had me
is that how I'm
and
really?
Margaret had me hysterical when she
Me
was
too.
like,
Yeah.
you ruined
Well,
my
then
cake."
Siggy pulling on the ponytail. So, you're going to do it. I'm going to do it too.
But in a way, I thought that was cathartic. Like
I did
we
too.
all in our life have girlfriends that are a little dramatic or that cause us a little pain. It'd be kind of nice to be in a room and be able to get it out and not end in war or
oh my gosh.
exiting each other's lives.
Do a little role reversal. Oh.
But now, would you women watch the show if there was no drama? If they were just nice like us? I mean,
No.
Absolutely not.
No, nobody would. I mean,
Right.
that's
You're
the
probably
point.
right.
yeah.
While
Yeah,
it may
it'd
not
be boring.
entirely be scripted, it's tweaked.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
And I think they know that they have to act up in order to make a
keep
good
their-
show
yeah,
and
to
to
keep the
be
contract.
renewed. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think Teresa sealed her fate as one of the queens of the Housewives franchise by flipping that table.
That table, yeah, that's, yeah.
Jail didn't hurt her either. Martha
No.
Stewart, it didn't hurt, and it didn't hurt Teresa.
That's like Ramona on